What if human biology just isn't the limit anymore? It's a question that honestly sounds like it belongs straight in a sci-fi movie, but as you'll see today, it is rapidly becoming the defining scientific reality of our time. We are talking about everything from artificial eyes that could soon completely outperform natural human vision to microchips woven literally right into the fabric of our brains. We are crossing a major threshold. In this explainer, we're going to unpack the exact science, the timelines, and the profound ethical dilemmas of human augmentation. Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're exploring the evolution of physical bionics into advanced neural interfaces, mapping out an arc that takes us all the way to the year 2050. We're going to examine how technology is shifting from simply repairing the human body to fundamentally expanding what the human mind can do. Here is our cognitive map for today. We'll start with the bionic breakthrough, move into wiring the brain, explore the shift from healing to enhancing, map out the path to 2050, and finally, we'll tackle the ethics and the emerging neuro divide. Let's start with Section 1, the bionic breakthrough, by looking at a tangible, incredibly relatable advancement in reversing vision loss. To really grasp how fast the boundary between biology and machine is dissolving, consider the electrochemical eye, or the ECI. Developed by scientists at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, this isn't just your standard flat camera sensor. It's actually modeled after a real human retina with a 3D concave curve. This curved surface is studded with tiny light sensors that perfectly mimic our natural photoreceptors. But here is the absolute most fascinating part. These sensors are attached to a bundle of wires made of liquid metal. That liquid metal acts exactly like a human optic nerve to transmit visual data. It's just a brilliant piece of biomimicry. While the ECI is obviously a huge step for restoring sight, researchers are already looking way past mere restoration. By using a denser array of sensors and attaching each one to an individual nanowire, this tech has the potential to actually outshine the real thing. By utilizing different materials in the artificial retina, users could be bestowed with higher sensitivity to infrared light. We are quite literally talking about the potential for true built-in night vision. You can officially throw away the clunky night vision goggles. Moving right along to Section 2, wiring the brain. We're shifting from peripheral bionics straight into interfacing with neurons. So, we're leaving the eye and heading straight into the body's ultimate command center, the 86 billion neurons of the human brain. To ground these wild concepts in reality, let's talk about the Neuralink N1 implant system. It represents the most advanced commercially pursued invasive brain-computer interface, or BCI, as of 2026. This tiny chip integrates 1,024 electrodes distributed across 64 ultra-thin polymer threads. Now, these threads are so incredibly fine that they require a specialized neurosurgical robot to insert them with sub-millimeter precision just to avoid blood vessels. Once in, it performs real-time processing and transmits the data entirely wirelessly. And the hard evidence of this progress is pretty staggering. By early 2026, Neuralink reported an 85% signal decoding success rate for motor intent in their PRIME study. Take Nolan Arbog, a human patient with a severe spinal cord injury. He was able to control a computer cursor, type, and navigate interfaces with his thoughts alone, matching the velocity and accuracy of able-bodied users. It's a real game changer. Now, what's really interesting about this is the massive trade-off the industry currently faces. On one side, you've got invasive BCIs like Neuralink. They require surgical implantation and do carry long-term biocompatibility risks like tissue scarring, but they offer the absolute highest signal clarity. On the flip side, we have non-invasive BCIs like EEG headsets that just sit on your scalp. No surgery, completely safe, portable, and low cost. Because of that, non-invasive systems currently command over 58% of the BCI market revenue. But, and it's a big but, they have much lower spatial resolution because those signals have to fight their way through the human skull. But what if there was a middle ground? Well, enter the semi-invasive approach. This is the Stentrode, developed by a company called Synchron. Instead of open brain surgery, a self-expanding mesh electrode array is deployed endovascularly. That means it travels right through your blood vessels. It essentially sits inside a vein adjacent to the motor cortex, recording brain activity through the vessel wall and beaming it wirelessly to an implant in the chest. Clinical trials have already allowed patients with severe paralysis from ALS to successfully control digital interfaces using this exact method, totally avoiding a craniotomy. Section 3, Healing to Enhancing. This is where we look at boosting cognitive capabilities. We've seen how these interfaces can heal damaged bodies or restore lost communication, but the scope of BCI technology is expanding far beyond just fixing what was broken. We're actually beginning to fundamentally enhance human cognitive abilities. Just consider the number 62. For individuals with conditions like locked-in syndrome, researchers at Stanford and UCSF have pioneered neuroprosthetic speech systems. These systems decode intended phonemes, which are the basic sounds of speech, directly from the brain's motor cortex. By translating those neural patterns through machine learning models, they hit a decoding rate of 62 words per minute in 2023, and that has recently pushed toward 80 words per minute. To put that into perspective, natural conversational speech is about 160 words per minute. We are rapidly approaching real-time natural thought-to-speech translation. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive leap from basic physical function to pure cognitive enhancement. Researchers at the USC Viterbi School of Engineering, funded by DARPA, developed a hippocampal neural prosthesis. It bypasses damaged tissue by reading short-term memory signals, processing them through a complex nonlinear model, and then delivering the predicted output via microstimulation. The result? It boosted episodic memory recall accuracy by 36% in human subjects. Imagine never, ever forgetting where you left your keys, or maybe instantly downloading a new language. DARPA's intense interest here points heavily toward cognitive enhancement for completely healthy individuals. Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into the 2050 roadmap, scaling up these breakthroughs. Scaling up these localized hardware breakthroughs reveals a sprawling 25-year timeline ahead of us. Research outlines a very clear four-phase roadmap. Between 2026 and 2030, we see clinical standardization. That's where devices for paralysis and speech restoration get regulatory approval. Then, jumping to the 2030 through 2038 window, we hit consumer integration. BCIs will finally become affordable enough for widespread use. Think wearable headsets for everyday cognitive augmentation. Moving into 2038 to 2045, expect the whole brain interface, involving tech like neural dust interfacing with millions of neurons at once. And finally, between 2045 and 2050, the grand culmination, neural-digital symbiosis. So what exactly is neural-digital symbiosis? It's defined as a state where the boundary between biological cognition and digital computation is functionally dissolved. By 2050, the projection is that our brains will operate simultaneously as biological networks and as nodes in a much broader computational ecosystem. We're talking about artificial general intelligence retrieving memories for you, computing optimal decisions on the fly, and enabling direct brain-to-brain communication. Experts call it synthetic telepathy. And hey, hopefully with better connectivity than our current Wi-Fi, right? Let's move into our final segment, Section 5, the neuro divide and ethics. Time to look at the geopolitical realities. So, the crucial point is, as this tech accelerates, we are facing three massive ethical dilemmas highlighted in the source material. First up, neuro rights. Neural data is literally the most intimate personal information imaginable. Chile has actually already become the first country to constitutionally protect mental privacy, setting a massive global precedent. Second, the neuro divide. Invasive implants right now cost tens of thousands of dollars. That high cost could create a biological cognitive stratification where wealthy elites have vastly superior capabilities compared to unaugmented folks, totally upending our concept of equal opportunity. And third, cybersecurity. Wireless neural data is super vulnerable to brain hacking, meaning interception or even adversarial neural stimulation, where false sensory inputs are just injected right into a person's mind. Furthermore, it is important to note that this technology sits right at the center of intense international competition. The global BCI market is projected to be worth billions. The United States currently holds a significant presence, largely driven by private capital and institutions like DARPA. Concurrently, China has issued a very comprehensive industrial roadmap spanning 7 government departments. They are specifically targeting global BCI enterprise dominance by 2030, with Chinese market projections exceeding 120 billion won by 2040. Both nations are aggressively developing the sector for its profound economic and strategic implications, which creates a highly complex global landscape for how these technologies will ultimately be governed. I want to leave you with this final, profoundly haunting question. In a closed-loop AI system that continuously monitors and optimizes your mental state, who is really making the decisions? Traditional ethics are built around clear, single moments of consent. But when an AI system is continuously modulating your brain state to optimize your behavior, the boundary of your own authentic free will becomes incredibly blurred. As we rush toward a 2050 where biology is no longer the limit, we're going to have to decide not just what we want our technology to do, but who we fundamentally want to be. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. See you next time.